Well, nothing screams December 2019 more than leaking the September 2020 iPhone lineup. Yes, this is all definitely confirmed. But an analyst from JPMorgan came forward with some interesting developments on the new iPhones next year. They're definitely doing something different. I think we can assume that. The design scheme is going to change. The displays are going to change a little bit across the board. And there's parts of this rumor that I find believable, and there's also other parts that I don't. So I'll just dive into the specifics because I am always correct, and that's an objective fact. Let's begin. So this is a new one in the whole world of leaking upcoming iPhones and stuff. This isn't backed by Quo or on leaks, so, you know, I wouldn't assume it's super realistic. But this analyst from JPMorgan is saying we're getting 4 new iPhones in the second half of 2020. So yeah, no one's ever brought this up before. This is the first time we're hearing about it, which does mean it could end up being wrong, but it pitches an interesting idea. They're saying that there is going to be 2 Pro models of iPhone, just like this year, but also 2 regular models of iPhone, which is not an insane idea, right? The iPhone 11 was clearly the most popular iPhone this year. Why not have some more diversity in that particular department? Just like there is some size diversity with the Pros. You know, the Pros get to choose between a 5.8-inch phone and a 6.5-inch phone, so why not have 2 sizes for the more affordable lines? Okay, I can get on board with that. But this is where the interesting part comes in. They're saying that all 4 models are going to have OLED displays, which I think most people are happy about, but this is the first time we're hearing that the 5.4-inch iPhone, I don't know if you've heard about it, but Apple's making a much smaller iPhone than usual next year. Some people love that idea, some people hate that idea. I'll save that topic for another day, but the 5.4-inch iPhone is going to be on the affordable side and will in fact not be a 12 Pro. This will not be one of the higher-end iPhones that are probably over $1,000. The 5.4-inch iPhone will be more reserved as a budget-friendly model that's meant to appeal to the masses a little bit. Now, there are going to be differences, of course, between the Pro and the non-Pro iPhones, even though all 4 iPhones are getting OLED. That main difference is that the triple camera is going to remain an exclusive feature to the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, along with a 3D sensing time of flight sensor, so something that's going to go on there. And I don't think it's going to be as simple as, well, it helps with AR and it makes for better bokeh in portrait mode shots. I think that there's actually going to be a feature set because, you know, typically with Apple, they don't necessarily just add things for the sake of having them on phones. Typically, if they add something, they want it to allow for a certain feature. So my personal guess, this is not part of the analyst report, this is just my prediction, is that the time of flight sensors that are going to be equipped on the 12 Pro models, they're going to allow for portrait mode video. I know this is a thing on other Androids, but it's still kind of in the early development stages. It doesn't work super well. While Apple's going to be late to this feature, I think they're going to get it better than anyone else. And on the 12 Pro model, you'll be able to take videos in portrait mode with that really good bokeh, and using the A14 chip, they'll be able to render that in real time, and they'll say it's thanks to that time of flight sensor. This time of flight sensor and the 3D camera system on the 12 Pro will not make it onto the more affordable iPhone 12s. I'm just going to call them the 12s. Those are just going to stick with dual cameras, likely the same setup we have on the iPhone 11 currently. Ultra-wide lens and a regular lens. Yes, there will likely be improvements along with those little ones, but don't expect a telephoto or time of flight lens on those 2 smaller ones. But they're not necessarily smaller. This is where the report kind of gets interesting. This is the first time we've heard an analyst suggest that there's actually going to be 2 6.1-inch iPhone models, a Pro version and a non-Pro version. This is where some of my doubt starts to set in, but I'll continue with the leak. This analyst is saying the 12 Pro will be a 6.1-inch OLED iPhone with the triple camera and the time of flight sensor and everything. The 12 Pro Max will be a 6.7-inch display with the same camera features, of course. But then when you go to the regular iPhone 12s, the non-Pros, you're going to have a 5.4-inch OLED display. Very small, by the way. We did some math on how it would accompany Face ID and still have gesture control. And with a 5.4-inch display, it will actually be a smaller footprint than the regular sized iPhone 8, 7, and 6. Even smaller than that. So people who wanted a smaller phone, you're going to have that option at probably a more affordable price point. But this goes against a lot of the rumors we got in the past that the 5.4-inch iPhone would be a Pro alongside the 6.7-inch, which is quite a large screen diversity. But now they're saying 5.4-inch and 6.1-inch sizes for the regular iPhone 12, still both of them being OLED, the primary difference being they're just dual camera systems on the back, and also some difference in 5G connectivity. So technically, all 4 iPhones will have support for 5G, but the Pro models will be supporting a better wavelength for even higher gigabit speeds than the lowers, but 5G is so stupid. There's already like several different versions of 5G. There's like a slow 5G and a fast 5G, and basically what this analyst is saying is that the Pro models will support full speed 5G, and the cheaper models will support 5G, but just not at full potential. 5G is stupid and a waste of your time, so don't bother thinking about that. But here's what I find believable about this analyst, okay? The 5.4-inch iPhone, that's really small. Smaller than an iPhone 8, but still rocking Face ID and thin bezels and everything. It sounds like it's gonna be an awesome phone for people who care about more compact designs, which I know there's a lot out there, and making that a more affordable option instead of a Pro model probably makes a bit more sense. I know there's those of you out there that want the smallest iPhone possible, but also want to accommodate those Pro features along with it. You don't want to compromise on performance, but it also makes logical sense that you can't fit as many Pro features into that small a footprint. A 5.4-inch display is already impressive that they're going to be able to fit Face ID, a dual camera, and a decent battery life, all in a design that compact, especially if you look at the competition. Android smartphones, they don't really care that much about the small-handed people. It seems like when it comes to Androids, it's just about how big can this display get? Bigger, bigger, bigger. It has a crease on it. It unfolds. It's even bigger now. And there's very little attention to the market who cares about the little compact tiny phone for the people who have little hands. So the fact that Apple is still catering to that is good. But yeah, I can understand why maybe a form factor that small can't rock a triple camera, can't rock the time of flight sensor, and a really good battery life that Apple deems as Pro. Because currently the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, they have the best battery lives. Regular iPhone 11, still a good battery life, but not as good as the Pros. So the idea of the smallest iPhone being a more affordable one, it's not iPhone SE levels of cheap. We're not talking about a $400 iPhone here, okay? This is still gonna be rocking great dual camera setup, still an OLED display, still rocking Face ID, and it will definitely have the almighty A14 chip, okay? Still gonna be better in a lot of ways than all of the iPhones we have currently, but probably looking at somewhere between a $750 to maybe $700 price point because there's less materials and because you can't compact so much into such a small design. And to those who maybe want the iPhone 12 Max, I get this naming is confusing, but I'm just trying to think of a name for the plus-sized version of the more affordable iPhone. That one will have a 6.1-inch OLED display for those of you who think 5.4-inch is just too small. Believe me, I get it. A lot of you are happy with the 5.8-inch form factor. You don't want that changing, but the thing is, if it's a 6.1-inch display and it's still OLED, that means that the form factor is going to be much smaller than that of the current iPhone 11 and the XR, because those liquid retina displays require much thicker bezels, and there's rumored to be more squared off design next year anyway. So even though this form factor, yes, is going to be larger than that of the 5.8-inch model, it's not going to be that bad. The bezels are likely going to be pretty thin, and it'll still likely feel really comfortable in the hand. The part of this rumor I have a hard time believing, though, is that there's going to be 2 iPhones, different branding, one's a Pro, one's not a Pro, but the exact same display size and likely a fairly substantial price difference. That doesn't sound exactly right to me. I could end up being wrong. Maybe there's a chance that Apple will leave ProMotion for the Pro iPhones and then keep it at 60 hertz for the more affordable ones. In that case, yeah, a 6.1-inch display on 2 different phones, I get it. If one of them has 120 hertz, you can charge extra for that. That's fine. But it does sound a little hard to believe that Apple would release that many iPhones. It is kind of distorted, as a lot of you watching this video are already probably getting confused. What's happening to the 5.8-inch model? Where's that one going? So you're saying there's 2 cheap ones and 2 Pro ones now? I get it, you know? I'm totally with you. This is very confusing, and I'm actually going to be starting a class over on Skillshare just about learning the different iPhone leaks. You thought I was going to do a Skillshare ad read just now, didn't you? Nope. My whole family's teachers. I'm not going to become one. But either way, I know that I'm going to be getting the 6.7-inch model regardless because I just want the biggest display possible. And the one possibility that I would accept from this report is that the 5.4-inch iPhone is not going to be a Pro model and that Apple instead will have a 6.1-inch and 6.7-inch Pro iPhone selection. So those of you who like the smaller iPhone. The 6.1 inch, it's gonna be a smaller footprint than the 11 and the 10R, so don't get too upset that your 5.8 inch is going away. The 6.7 inch iPhone is likely going to sit in the exact same footprint as the 11 Pro Max, just with thinner bezels. So overall, I think this lineup could be pretty solid, but only if they add ProMotion to the Pro iPhones. If there's no ProMotion on any of the iPhones next year, it's gonna be very, very bizarre that you're gonna have like probably an $800 iPhone 12 that has a 6.1 inch OLED display, and then for an extra $200 to $300, you have the iPhone 12 Pro with the exact same size display. They're both OLED, and the only difference is triple camera and time of flight sensor. No one's gonna be buying that 12 Pro if that's the case, unless maybe you really, really care about having a stainless steel design, given the regular iPhone 12 probably gonna stick with aluminum. And who knows, maybe they'll differentiate them very substantially and give the Pro models USB-C and the regular models Lightning. Hopefully they just all get USB-C, that would be nice, but I think the only way this analyst could end up being correct is if the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max get ProMotion. That's it. If you like smaller iPhones, there's gonna be one coming, and if you're happy with the 6.1 inch design, then you're gonna get lots of those next year. This, of course, does not count the iPhone SE coming in March of 2020, and this analyst also said that Apple might start releasing iPhones every 6 months, which, it's gonna be a whole nother video topic. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of there being two 6.1 inch models, and then a very tiny one at 5.4 inch, and a very large one at 6.7 inch by hitting me up over on Twitter or joining our Discord. I'm personally getting a little sick of these iPhone leaks already, but I don't know, you know, I want the big one. Give me the biggest screen you have. That's all that matters to me. All your guys' perfect screen size bickering about 5.8 inches perfect. You can't make it 0.3 inches bigger. That's just too much. Ugh, I don't care. You all adapt anyway. You'll get used to it. Then you'll be saying the 6.1 inch is the perfect size. This is your Shape here. I'll see you in the next one.